Hello, this is Tim Campsell with TBC Action Coach of Indiana with our Business Spotlight series. The purpose is to interview local business owners and promote them through our social channels and email database, as well as provide them coaching. This is a free service we're providing because if every small business is strong, then the economy is strong. Today, I have the pleasure of talking with Salomon. Welcome, Salomon. It's great to have you on the program today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, hey,
Thanks for
let's
having me.
start with having you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit of your story.
Of course. My name's Salomon Levy. Grew up in Miami, actually. Miami, Florida. Came over to Indiana to the Kelly School of Business, where I became an entrepreneurship and finance major. Always been involved with sales. My dad was an entrepreneur growing up. He owned his own auction house. But I've kind of always been into music. Started DJing about 7th grade. Got my first gig at 8th grade. Had a fun time. Obviously didn't get paid, but it was parties here and there throughout high school. Finally, I started getting paid when I went on my gap year. I actually went to Israel, traveled around Israel DJing for a little while.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, different clubs, Shavata, Lighthouse. Like if anyone's ever been there, they would probably know those two. Came over back to America, took a break from America a little bit, came back to America, happy to be here, went straight to Indiana. So from Israel to Indiana was a big culture shock, but it's been a good time. I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. But when you become a freshman, you don't really know what major you want to do. A lot of people switch throughout. But I stuck with finance and entrepreneurship. I'll be graduating this May with both those degrees, hopefully. Just got to pass the last 3 classes I'm in, and then we'll see where it goes. Currently, I will be joining Oracle in Austin, but if my business can, take off a little bit more, I will be gladly running this. But this will be a side project no matter what.
Fantastic. Well, hey, let's have you share a little bit about your business. If we had you do a 60-second commercial, what would that commercial be for your business?
Yeah, so Chop and Drop's the only text message, music, news, media out there. We are text message first, so you'll text us Drake blog, please, and we'll send you our Drake blog, whatever it might be. Every 2 weeks, we send a new playlist. It's a completely free service for anyone that signs up. So the hope is to gain enough subscribers to where we can raise money through advertisements so we can keep it free on that side. So we're basically a personal music concierge through your text message.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. So how long have you had this business?
So a year and a half ago, I started it as a music newsletter, was pushing that very, very hard. Got to about 1,300 email subscribers where I was looking at the data, and it was just without, getting capital and starting to pay to gain more subscribers, which I thought I had a chance. I saw a lot more opportunity in tech. So for about 8 weeks now, we've been doing text message. We have about 515 subscribers on text message, and the results and the data are just way, way better than email. We're looking at like a 50% click rate, a 98% open rate, and it's just awesome. People can respond to me easier. People text me for playlists randomly, looking to throw a party tonight. Do you have any recommendations? And we've got a lot of playlists in stock, so I usually have one to just throw at them.
Yeah, fantastic. So a music concierge. So tell us a little bit more about who do you serve? Who's your best customer or client? And we call that your target audience.
Yeah, so right now our target audience is between the ages of 16 to 24. Now, this is not it's the perfect audience for what we're doing right now because I don't have enough manpower to send the Elton John playlist to, the older folks. So I keep it more specified to kind of college students. We're in the Big Ten area. We're in University of Florida. We have a big growing population in UF because I'm from Miami. I know some people there, and IU are growing. So right now, really our target audience to start is 18 to 24. But as we grow, I've been seeing there's some 60-year-olds, there's some 50-year-olds on it, and they enjoy it. So we're just trying to target right now to make sure we are delivering to the needs of our, customers.
Fantastic. So, what impact has COVID had on your business model?
Yeah. So, I mean, we're not an in-person service.
Mhm.
So, COVID did not affect that side of it. People are still on their phones. The problem is now they're on their phones with a lot of different things. You got Clubhouse growing, you have TikTok, you have Instagram. And the one way that I was still on email, the one way I combated that was to, switch to text message, because I'm right next to your mom, right next to your dad, whoever you're texting, I'm right next to them. But the most difficult thing is I used to stand outside and ask people if they liked music and then
Mm.
try to get them on board. Now at school, there's no real opportunity to walk up to people and kind of get that, because I mean, now I've just been kind of giving merchandise away, like, to get more subscribers. But before, I could stand outside and just, hey, I talked to 50 people, I'd get 20 people to sign up.
Yeah.
So that's the most difficult part, is just that word of mouth that I can spread personally has like a limited reach.
Yeah. So then, Salman, what are one or two actions that you've had to do to pivot to be able to continue to grow your business, and how those things been working for you?
So I just started an ambassador program. I have about like 4 ambassadors at IU. I wanted to test it out here before I went to UF. It's difficult it takes a lot of manpower to actually track it. So the results have been fine. We've got X amount of subscribers from them, but it's hard to, um, they basically get their own link. So when they click the link, it says, hey, Chop and Drop. If the guy's name's Oliver, Oliver sent me, and then I'll tack it down. Okay, Oliver got one. But that's a very manual way. The hope is to somehow create an API system that says, oh, Oliver, let's check the Oliver. And that's been difficult. Doesn't seem like there's a possibility for that to happen without me actually constructing something
Mm.
that works with the company to, get the API or whatever the text message. So that's one thing I've done, is start an ambassador program. Has not been working out that great. Another thing is I will Instagram DM people, 15 new people a day. Random people, doesn't matter who it is. So I'll say, hey, have you heard of Chop and Drop? I mean, I use different ones to see which one does the best, but the best one right now has been like, have you signed up for Chop and Drop? Or have you heard of Chop and Drop? And then they ask what it is.
Mm.
So you just hope to get that first response, because
Uh-huh.
once they send that first response, it's like a 60% conversion. They don't
Yeah.
send anything back, you're not getting a conversion, but you kind of want to make it like a conversation rather than click
Right.
this link right now.
Yeah. Fantastic. So here's an interesting question. It's been said that smart people learn from their mistakes and wise people learn from the mistakes of others. So what's one mistake you've made along the way that you'd be willing to share to help other entrepreneurs learn from your experience?
Yeah, I would say you got to look at the data.
Mm.
And if the data's not there and it's like your baby and you want to grow that business and you believe in it, I just believe I stuck with email for a little too long.
Mm.
That was a big mistake I made. And going into the future, I'm going to take that Google Analytics free data that they give you. I'm going to take the whatever website commerce you're on. It'll give you data, and you can actually see and test before you actually go with this, because you don't want to be wasting your time
Right.
for so long. You might believe in it and people might love it, but you don't need some people to love it. You need masses to love it.
Right.
So that's been a difficult drive. And even with this text message, I have you're not supposed to put these hard goals like get 2,000 subscribers, because you've never gotten 2,000 subscribers. But I put a goal like tell 15 people a day. That's
Mhm.
possible, and I'll be able to do that. And if I don't get, by May, June, I'm about to start, a job. You might be start looking at less time consuming ways to get, secondary income to find things. So I would say look at the data before you go all in. Just look at it. So that's what I'm doing right now with text messages. This is a 6-month period, test it out, see what I can do. It's looking good.
Yeah.
Can look a little better, but it's looking good. And
Good.
yeah, we'll see.
I like your the point you made about you can track activities. So breaking things down to weekly goals of to your point, introduce it to 15 people. That's a much easier thing for business owners to be able to do and track is, right, how many phone calls do we need to make, or how many postcards do we need to send out, right? And track those activities. And then later we can track the results of those activities. But a lot of folks do get hung up on the results without breaking it down in terms of what are the activities that we need to do. So appreciate you sharing that insight. Thank you. So last question here, or sorry, second last question is going to get your contact information so that we can include that in this interview so folks have a way to get a hold of you. But is there anything else that you'd like to offer? Do you have any types of offers going on, or how can people learn more about if this is the right fit for them?
Of course. So right now I am about to open up like an ambassador program. So if you're in college and you're looking to get some experience, some startup experience, whenever you're an ambassador for a company like mine, you can come on and you can do the most minimal work. But if you reach out to me and you're like, hey, I have this idea, I'm going to implement that. I mean, we have meetings every 2 weeks with everyone. I get ideas from everyone. It's not a one person show. So if you are looking to join a startup, see what a startup community is like, join my team, reach out to me. I can happily get you on board. I'll happily add you to a Zoom meeting. It's not going to hurt me. If you're willing to give me your time, I kind of show you. And if you have ideas, we can work something out, do something around that. I can't offer you a lot of money right now, but I can offer you some interesting experience. And that's what it is.
Fantastic. Awesome. So Salomon, last question here. What's been most inspiring to you during the craziness of the past year?
I would say individual people on social media have been inspiring me and kind of keeping me going, if that's kind of what you're asking.
Yeah.
A main one I have, which I know is a very popular one, is like Gary Vee. I really enjoy what he says. And there's this motivational reel on Instagram that like just has these funny stories. So like one was a video of a man. He's like, look, my friends, it was a recording of him, my friends making fun of me for working while they went to a party in this like party bus. And then he goes, them asking me for advice, and he's like speaking in front of a bunch of these people. So just like looking at those motivational reels, follow those Instagram accounts that have motivation. If it just says get shit done or like whatever it is, it just can change your kind of mindset so quickly, rather than following these influencers that are posting pictures like, oh, they're pretty girls, they're doing cool stuff. That's just going to demotivate you, because you're going to be like, wow, they're so lucky. Listen to the stories. Big one's Alex Lieberman from Morning Brew. He does a great job on LinkedIn. If you want to follow him on Twitter, he does a cool job too. And it's just kind of learning more. Stop following things that are going to demotivate you. So looking at someone who's very wealthy is not going to motivate you. Looking at the people that are wealthy stories and them telling you, giving you advice.
Yeah.
Reading books like I think Rich Dad Poor Dad's I think the best book to start with. If you want one book, that's one book to just start with, and you'll be like, okay, now I see it.
Fantastic. Well, hey, Salomon, that concludes our interview. For everyone watching this, please reach out to Salomon. Use the contact information that I'll include in this interview. Become an ambassador, spread the word, help him grow the business, get an opportunity to learn how a startup works, get your input used and implemented, and have a great time helping build this business for Salomon. Hey, Salomon, it's been a pleasure learning about you and your business today, and I wish you tremendous success.
Appreciate it.
All right,
thank you so much.
Fantastic day.
Yeah, you too.
All right, take care.